In today's video, we're going to talk about the mass shooting that never was, as well as a comprehensive look into why many people in the United States are turning pro Second Amendment. Just a few days ago in South Carolina, a man has been charged with multiple attempted murder charges after opening fire at a busy nightclub Sunday morning. The shooting happened around 3:30 a.m. The perpetrator, Ray Thompson, pulled out a gun after getting in an argument with another man and fired several rounds towards the crowd that had gathered out in front of the club. His round struck 3 victims and almost struck a 4th victim, who in self-defense pulled his own weapon and fired, striking Thompson in the leg, said police. The police officers also said the man who shot the criminal, Thompson, had a valid concealed weapons permit, cooperated with investigators, and won't be facing any charges. And of course, this criminal who decided to shoot up the nightclub did not have a legal concealed carry license, was committing the crime illegally. Last week, we have seen gun control advocates say how it's impossible for people to defend themselves, how people cannot even be allowed to have guns in order to stop mass shootings in this country. But as we have seen in the events that have unfolded in South Carolina, criminals do not care about gun-free zones. This criminal who violated the laws was stopped from a legal gun carrying member. We have seen this up front and personal in Venezuela, personally myself. Venezuela is a total gun-free zone where even security guards are not allowed to own and have guns. This is why it is the murder capital of the world. What I have seen, what I have experienced inside of Venezuela was tragic, was shocking, and you really need to watch this video in order to get a full perspective on just the outright lunacy that's happening in Venezuela, with the government caring more about anti-smoking areas, permits, and also gun-free zones than the safety and security of their own people, while criminals literally run that entire country. Now, this position, with people realizing the true facts of the Second Amendment, is becoming more popular as these events unfold, as the government truly shows their true colors. Even Naomi Wolf, who is, as she described herself, a Jewish New York liberal traditionally, even her in this speech, as a traditional liberal, said, I have switched my position on the Second Amendment. I used to think people with believing in the Second Amendment were nuts, were crazy, were just crazy, paranoid, stupid people. But now, after seeing the legal actions of our government, I am pro Second Amendment. And she said this because the government is at war with its own people. We interviewed Naomi Wolf on this particular topic. You can watch this video in the description below, but we got into great detail about her switch by being anti-Second Amendment and now pro-Second Amendment. This is happening throughout many liberals, even Cassandra Fairbanks, who is a well-known journalist. She writes for our publication as well on WeAreChange.org. She even flipped from being anti-Second Amendment to now being pro-Second Amendment. And why are people making this determination? Well, obviously, the government does not care about your safety and your well-being. It is even coming out, according to the red state, that the guns used in the 2015 Paris terrorist attack came from Operation Fast and Furious. If you don't know what Operation Fast and Furious is, it's when Eric Holder, it's when Barack Obama sent weapons of death, high-powered automatic machine guns and rifles down to Mexican drug cartels down south of the border in order to, quote, track them. The U.S. government armed violent, dangerous Mexican drug cartels, gave them all the weapons. And these weapons, of course, were traded. Of course, these weapons were operated by terrorist organizations, would obviously work with criminal drug cartel organizations inside of Mexico. Criminals obviously stick together, and whatever laws they make does not matter. And by the way, Mexico is also a huge entire gun-free zone. Look at the death rate. Look at what's happening inside of Mexico right Now, this was not only the first time. I know people in this video who are watching it right now will say, well, this was just probably a gang dispute between this Thompson character and someone he did not like. Sure, but there has been a previous incident almost exactly 1 year ago where Muslim terrorists were stopped by guns in Texas. This happened at a controversial event where people were showing the nature of Muhammad drawing the Muslim prophet. This pissed off two radical Islamic terrorists, and they armed themselves with body armor and automatic machine guns. They came to this controversial event and opened fire, and it was an off-duty police officer who was not working, who was not on the clock, who was able to legally carry a gun because of the lax laws in Texas when it comes to the Second Amendment. An off-duty police officer was able to kill these terrorists before they came in with automatic machine guns, with body armor, into this event to create mass murder. It was stopped because of a legal gun-carrying citizen, not a police officer. He was off-duty. A citizen who was able to carry a gun, which makes you ask the question, why in the United States, after the horrific events in Orlando, is the mainstream media, is the government, is Barack Obama blaming the NRA, blaming conservatives, blaming people who believe in the Second Amendment? But then when the recent events unfolded in Istanbul, Turkey, everyone points the finger at ISIS. But when this happens inside the United States, they point the finger at the person who believes in the Second Amendment. What is happening here? What's going on? Obviously, you could figure this out all yourself. Subscribe, donate. We're going to have a lot more information coming here your way on youtube.com/WeAreChange. But researching all this information, I have grown up in Brooklyn, New York. I had friends who were shot and murdered. I had also other friends who were macheted to death and stabbed to death. I've seen it. I grew up in it. It is a very hard decision to be pro-Second Amendment. But the government is giving me no other excuse but to be in favor of this right. Let me know what you think below. What's your stance? Comment down below. Thank you again so much for watching. And of course, subscribe.